Hey guys, how's it going? Move Motion Graphics here, and today we'll be taking a look at another Vox animation technique, which is how you can animate your own handwritten text in After Effects without any plugins. And as usual, the project files will be available in the description below, so do check that out if you are interested. So as for every start of a new project, create a new composition and name it whatever you want. So I'm just gonna leave it as the default settings and create a new solid, and we're gonna use that as our background. So right now we're gonna start off by creating a text that we're gonna animate later on. So I'll be using this font as seen on the screen, which I have no idea how to pronounce, so yeah. So just to follow the tutorial, I'll be duplicating this text layer and creating another text. So first up, we're gonna make the Polaroid picture in the middle of the composition. So we're gonna import the photo that I have linked in the description below, and we're gonna start by replacing the photo on the Polaroid. So there are a lot of ways you can go about doing this, so I just kind of like went ahead and got a photo on unsplash.com. You can even take a photo of your own Polaroid if you want. So before you start cutting out the photo, we're gonna make a new pre-composition with the photo inside. Remember to leave the settings as leave all attributes. So the reason why we have this pre-composition is so that we can edit the stuff inside the pre-composition without having too much layers on the outside. So first up, we want to go back to the final composition and use your pen tool to cut out the Polaroid itself. And now you're going to want to head back into the pre-composition. And now you're going to want to drag the photo that you want to show into the composition. And we're going to scale it down so that it fits. So to replace the photo on this Polaroid, we're gonna start out by masking out the area of the image that shows the photo, and we're gonna use the track matte to actually replace it. So now when you head back to your final composition, everything should look just the way you want it to, with the Polaroid showing the new photo instead of the old one. So the next step we're gonna do is to search for this effect called CC Page Turn. And as you can see on the screen, that's just the kind of small effect that it adds to our Polaroid. So we're gonna play around with the settings to get the result that we want. You can go ahead and actually change a lot of these kind of settings to get the look and feel that you would like to achieve. So to make this Polaroid look a little bit more cohesive with the background, we're gonna import a texture and lay it on top of the Polaroid. So the texture is linked in the description below, so drag it inside the composition. And over at the track matte section, you just want to select Luma Invert Matte. And finally, to give the black and white feel to your photo, you just want to search for this effect called Hue and Saturation, and you want to bring down the master saturation all the way to -100. So right now I'm just adjusting the levels of the photo itself so that my photo looks a little bit better in black and white. So finally, to tie this whole thing together, we are missing a texture in the background. So in the same texture pack, import the texture in and put it above the white solid. And you want to set the blending mode to multiply and lower the opacity such that it won't be too obvious. And right now we're gonna make an animated paper texture on the background, so import a paper texture inside After Effects and drag it down to the composition and create pre-composition. So we're gonna type a few expressions that will allow the paper texture to wiggle around automatically. And now that we're done with all the expressions for our paper texture, we're gonna head back to the main composition and set this whole pre-composition's blending mode to multiply. And with that, we're done with the whole scene creation for this project, and now we'll head on over to the animation of the text. So to start off this handwritten animation, you want to use the pen tool and go over the whole text that you have written. So this process might take a while, and it took me around 5 minutes to get this whole thing done. So now that you're done using the pen tool going through this whole text, you just want to search for this effect called stroke and set the paint style to reveal original image. And play around with the settings of the brush size and the end percentage to get your animation. So we're gonna animate the end percentage. So set the keyframe on the first second and go back to the first frame and set it to 0%. And with that, we are done with the animation for this text layer, so we're gonna move on to the next text layer and do the same thing. And now that we're done animating the text, we're gonna make a new camera and a new now layer so that we can add a subtle camera movement to the whole composition. And now we're gonna add some secondary animations to the text layers by moving the position downwards. And the final touch that I'm gonna do is to animate the page turn so that it's like flipping a book but not really completed. And there you have it, a handwritten animation with a vintage looking Polaroid aesthetic. If you have any suggestions for the next tutorial, leave it down in the comment section below and I will get back to you all ASAP. Thanks!